Hey guys, Natasha Tessier here with Dwell Realty and Design by EXP. I have my new EXP hat on. Today, I'm going to discuss the top reasons that so many people are moving to Conroe, Texas in 2021. Hi guys, I'm Natasha Tessier. I'm the owner of Dwell Realty and Design here in the city of Houston. I was born and raised here, lived here pretty much my whole life. I keep moving further and further out from the city. I was born in the city in the Memorial area. My parents and siblings, some of them are still there. I taught in Katy, which is a great suburb of Houston. I lived in Tomball for 4 years and just moved out to Montgomery, which is right next to Conroe and Lake Conroe. It can be kind of confusing here, I think, because Conroe is in Montgomery County, but then Montgomery is its own city in and of itself. The Woodland schools are in Conroe ISD or Independent School District. So there's a lot of overlapping with what your address says, what school you go to, and what county you're in. But today I'm going to talk about the top reasons that so many people are moving to Conroe, Texas. I believe I read that the increase year over year was 20% from last year to this year. So it's actually a really hopping place. The population in Conroe is about 84,000. 190,000, which is still pretty low. Median age is 34 and the average price per square foot on a house is about 143. Those are just some basic things. And then I have my little notes here so that I can kind of help you guys understand a little bit more about Conroe. So on a map, it's just outside the Woodlands, right next to Lake Conroe, just, what would that be, east of Montgomery, the town of Montgomery, right by the lake. So it's a really cool spot. It's a really growing spot. You have Conroe ISD and lots of different high schools available, elementaries, and all sorts of ratings. And I always tell my clients, so if you're looking, go to the HAR app. It's Houston Association of Realtors. That is where you want to look for houses. And when you're asking about schools, because I get a lot of people moving for their kids, schools are a concern, or even if they're not a concern, but you're kind of concerned about the area, the way that that elementary school is rated is a pretty good indicator of kind of the area. Obviously, that's a generalization, but for the most part, you know, it's going to tell you everything about that school. So if you're interested, you have an elementary school kid and you want to know what they get on their test scores, or what the demographics are like, or what the student-teacher ratio is like, or how the kids are scoring on a test, get on HAR, click on the school, and it's going to tell you all that data, which is really, really informative, especially for parents with kids. And even without kids, you know, it's a good indicator of kind of the area. I love looking at the school ratings. It's obviously not the end all be all, but you know, it does help. So I came up with a list of why people are moving out here. And please, I'm super casual today. I've been working from home all day. I've been working all day nonstop, but I have been just it's raining out and it's just like a cozy Houston day. So I'm at home. The first thing I would say is people are trying to escape the city, especially during COVID. Harris County is the county that includes almost all of Houston, and then Montgomery County is Northwest Houston as you move kind of outside of Tomball, Magnolia, Montgomery, Conroe. A lot of people are trying to get out of the big city, get more space, and get away from all the crazy city life. So that would be the number one thing. Less traffic out here. So of course, you know, there's certain interchanges and things that can get backed up during 5 o'clock traffic, but you're not on like massive freeways like downtown Houston. A lot of my clients go through downtown Houston and it's crazy. I mean, there's tons of freeways, tons of traffic, tons of people running you over. I kind of get used to the country life, and then I go see my parents and I'm like, oh my gosh, they will run you off the road. So a little more slower paced life, a lot less traffic. That was my third thing, was just a slower pace of life. So out here, you're gonna have farmers markets, you know, different parades and small town festivals, and kind of have that small town feel. So of those, you have, obviously in Conroe, you're gonna have a farmer's market. They have a rodeo kickoff parade in downtown Conroe, which is really fun when the rodeo starts. They have a Christmas celebration that's coming up here. They have a 4th of July parades. They have a Conroe Symphony Orchestra concert out in the open. They have the CAJUN Catfish Festival. So it's kind of that more small town feel with lots of farmers markets, lots of kind of family friendly things to do. They're really building up downtown Conroe. So that was one of my reasons, is just kind of get back to those family roots and doing activities and festivals and things with your family. You're obviously right next to Lake Conroe. So many people, I've told you guys this before, we have a little boat membership. Go out all the time on the boat with our kids on the weekends. We, surf and take the pontoon out with our Bloody Marys, and just always on Lake Conroe. You can fish. Obviously, bass fishing is huge on Lake Conroe. I did have a client who was looking for a bass fishing team for their kids. If you are in Montgomery, I don't know about all the districts, but I know in Montgomery ISD, which is just out from Conroe, we do have a bass fishing team at Lake Creek and at Montgomery High School. They're actually one team together that my son is on, so that's super fun. But they fish. Lake Conroe is one of their areas that they fish. So if you like to be outdoors, Conroe might be a good spot for you. You're right up against the Sam Houston National Forest, and that has miles and miles of hiking and biking and camping. It's beautiful. So if you are kind of an outdoorsman and you want to get onto biking trails or hiking trails or go camping or whatever, Conroe butts right up against that. So that's great. So you have the lake and the national forest there to kind of go. There's tons of small, quaint, like restaurants and coffee shops, small business owners. Not a lot of franchise things in Conroe and Montgomery. Not a lot of big box chains. It's more kind of small town feel, unique restaurants and individually owned type of places. So a lot of people love it because you're like 45 minutes from downtown Houston, straight down 45. You're 20 minutes, 15 minutes, maybe even, depending on where you are, from the Woodlands. And really, you don't have to go anywhere past the Woodlands. You've got, probably more than 5 hospitals that I can think of. You've got all the shopping, all the 5-star restaurants, anything you'd ever need right in the Woodlands. But if you did want to go into, a Broadway play or the Astros or the Texans or something like that, go down to the aquarium or go down to the Nassau Space Center. Obviously, you'd go all the way into Houston and further. So, but everybody likes that it's kind of close to all those things. Okay, so the other thing I came up with is that in the Woodlands, it has 80 major employers. So there's a really good job hub around here. There's obviously oil and gas jobs, but then there's also healthcare and education. There's a lot of job opportunity out this way. The last thing that I want to mention is the safety factor, and just, again, kind of going along that small town feel. I feel like a lot of neighbors are kind of watching out for their other neighbors. The crime rate is a lot lower than the city of Houston. So it kind of has that, not along with all the, farmers markets and things that I mentioned, it kind of has that small town feel to it with, just kind of watching out for each other. And like I said, if you check the crime rates, you can go online and Google different crime rates and see kind of how low it is out there. So anyway, I hope that helps you figure out why so many people are moving to Conroe and Montgomery and all those areas. As always, if you ever have any questions, I'm more than happy to help you. You can reach me in many, many ways. I'm gonna put my cell phone number below. You can call or text me anytime. I'm very responsive to my clients. If you are an Instagram person, you can message me on there. I'm Houston Realtor Natasha. I'm Natasha Tessier on Facebook, or you can email me. It's just natashatessier@gmail.com. Lots of ways to get a hold of me. I mostly work with out-of-state people. I have a great buyer's guide where I can kind of give you a tour to drive around. Most of my clients, we meet at a coffee shop and we kind of talk about their areas. They go look and then they come back to me and say, hey, we really want to focus on this area. We fell in love with it. So happy to set you up on a search. There's no harm in that. It takes 10 minutes. We set you up on a search of what parameters you want in a home, whether that's 1 or 2 story, price range, how old or new you want it, all that stuff. And then it'll email you every time one of those homes immediately hits the market. So that helps, especially as the market gets more and more competitive. So if I can help anyway, please don't hesitate to reach out. I hope that this video was helpful and I hope that you have a blessed day.